6 subjects. And the first one is U.S.-China relationships. If we keep pushing them away and don't allow them on our space station, how in the world can we expect to lead the other nations, including China, at the moon? One way is by not competing with them, with the other nations, by sending our astronauts back there. If we don't do that, we can bring the other nations together and hopefully help design the, I have a new name for a lunar operations complex. I'm trying to get people to understand that's better than a research park or a base. We'll be controlling things on the surface of the moon from a station 50,000 miles on the far side and 40,000 miles on the near side, controlling robots. That is going to be our major contribution. Actually, we'll put in those locations what I would call a Mars exploration vehicle. It'll be testing these out. We'll be able to build a radio telescope robotically on the far side of the moon, where all the noise from the Earth is blanked out, and we'll be able to see radio emanations from further out in space. If we forget about the moon, that's not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it either, to go back to the moon at a full-blown program with NASA astronauts, because the Chinese will get there first. And while we're spending a lot of money there, the Russians will go to Mars. The next thing that's needed, other than U.S.-China relations and clarifying our position at the moon, is property rights. If we're to mine certain minerals.
You're holding something back, and here's what it is. I flew with Bruce on my first mission, and he did, as you probably know, the world's first untethered spacewalk. And Hoot took pictures of it, or you wouldn't believe it. I took pictures of it, but that wasn't what I wanted you to tell everybody. What I wanted you to tell them was, as Bruce floated away, he got to make a speech. And he made a speech over the radio that I don't think you've told them what it was. And I think you should tell us what it was.
Are you talking about that may have been one small step for Neil, but it's a heck of a big leap for me?
Bingo! That's it!
But since you bring up speeches, and maybe you can provide the inside perspective on this, very near the end of the second spacewalk, I was flying the command maneuvering unit. The propellant gauges said that it was almost empty. I was getting ready to get out of it and call it a day when we got this radio transmission, 41B, the President of the United States would like to speak to you. And sure enough, President Reagan wanted to talk to us, so our commander, Vance Brand, being a sort of a stage manager, I guess you'd say, said, "Bruce, fly on out there a little ways so we can get a picture of you at a distance." And literally, I was, this is the closest I came to running out of gas. I flew out 20, 25 feet, stabilized, turned everything off because I didn't want to moon the president, you know, flying away. And fortunately, it went very well. Reagan signed off. I turned the MMU on and it went through. But it gave me enough push to, like in gravity, enough push to grab a hold of the shuttle and work my way hand over hand back to the docking station.
Well, you know what? We all told Bruce that, you know what, if you run out of fuel while you're out there, we can fly Challenger over to pick you up if you come up with the right amount of money.
Yeah.